Alright, I'm shooting this video to show you why you shouldn't buy DNA Motorsports long tube header kit for the 5.3 or 6.0 Trailblazer Envoy, etc. I paid a little extra for these because they are actually a bolt together design, which I'll show you here in a second, rather than just a slip fit on the collector. And they look to be better quality, so I think I paid somewhere around $350, $375 for these. Now, before anybody comments, I have installed probably half a dozen $200 set of Chinese eBay headers on full-size trucks, 5.3, 6.0, 4.8, doesn't matter, and had zero fitment issues. These have some serious fitment issues with the passenger side header, which I'll show you. It contacts the frame on 2 different runners, and well, let's just get into that right now. If you can look up into there, you can actually see where it contacts the frame. On one, actually it's the motor mount, and on the other it contacts the strut mount, which is part of the frame. You can't really do anything about it, so you have to heat up the primaries and clearance it. And the one where it contacts the motor mount, that's not a big deal if you know going into it that you can actually grind or cut that little piece off. It's not going to hurt anything, but you have to unbolt and lift the engine up to even get these in. So once they're in unless you want to pull the engine again. And so we'll come back here, and this is the bolt together design that I said that I actually spent a little bit more on to get that. This side, of course, all lines up nice, but if you see back here the hanger, it actually does push the exhaust back about an inch or so. And if you come over to the driver's side header itself clears great. It doesn't contact anything. But you can see right here, the oxygen sensor points straight down at the ground, and it stretches the oxygen sensor wire, which actually takes me back to this side. You actually have to cut the heat shield for the transmission to even get this one in, and it still will not reach the factory plug-in. So I'm going to have to run some sort of extender or research and get a longer harness O2 sensor that'll work. And with the Y pipe right here, it's a slip fit right here, which isn't bad, but if you look, it's about 1.5 to 2 inches too big. So I'm actually going to have to cut about 1.5 to 2 inches out of this slip fit right here to get that to work. And this rear O2 sensor bung is probably the only one that is actually in a good location. It's not going to come in contact with anything, not going to have any clearance issues. This one, on the other hand, there's no way to even get an oxygen sensor in there. I mean, I can barely put my hand in between the frame and where it goes in. So I'm going to have to figure that one out too, run like a 90-degree elbow or something, because these are catless headers, so you'll need to run some sort of extender, non-fouler, to not get a code for the rear oxygen sensors. Well, I should say lack of catalytic converters more so. So if you have any questions, actually I might be able to get a view from up here of how you can see that primary just completely contacts right there. And I actually had to heat this one up and clearance it. Let's see, yeah, you're not be able to see through there. But clearance it right through the strut tower. It wasn't too bad, but anyway, so kind of buyer beware. Don't go into these thinking they're just going to slide right in. I probably fought 4.5, 5 hours on this passenger side one, trying to get it to clear everything, and then now that it's together, I still got to sort out the oxygen sensors. I'll have to, cross that bridge when I get there. But anyway, just figured I'd put this out there so nobody else makes the same mistake I do and buys these DNA Motorsport headers. One more thing I forgot to mention also is the bolts they include don't even fit the collector. So I measured them out to be like 9.9 millimeter on the threads, and the holes are 9.7 millimeter. And So you got two options. One is either drill out all 16 holes to use the rather cheap hardware they included, or just go down to the Lowe's, whatever, Home Depot, and buy, you know, $5 worth of hardware that's just going to bolt right on. Another thing too that I forgot to mention is the collectors are 3-inch, as you can see, but they actually neck down to 2.5-inch past this little, I guess, wannabe looking catalytic converter. And they didn't say about that at all in the description. They just said 3-inch collectors and left it at that. Whereas this cheap $169 or $179 set of headers I bought for my Saab over here, it stays 3-inch, and you can see that size difference. And honestly, I really don't care about a flex pipe. The trucks don't use them, and I don't really see that big of a need to run it. But yeah, so it nicks down to 2.5 versus the other ones are 3. And yeah, I mean, the hardware doesn't even work that comes with it. So there it is.